Welcome to Trading Lounge and the SP 500 for the 20th of June, starting on the daily chart here. As you know, we've been looking for an impulse wave to the upside of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and up for 5 here for wave 1, and then an A wave and a B wave and a C wave for wave 2, and then heading higher from that point. We have had some difficulty in this little pattern in here, and we're going to investigate that today. But just before we do that, the bigger pattern across this particular level here, we've been looking for a classic trading levels pattern where we have the arrival, the reaction in 3 waves, the first high above the level, then the A, the B and the C correction here, then finding support over here and moving up. And that particular pattern, as you may know, looks like this here. So it's good to kind of understand this pattern, because if we're not that sure with Elliott, then we know that what we're really looking for a long trade is we're looking for support on the level. So if we consider this the main level here of 3000, the arrival, the reaction in 3 waves, the first high above the level, then the ABC pattern, and then getting support back over here. It's simple, works in all time frames, and it's just really buying off support and understanding what is support and what triggers trades to the upside, and we buy new highs here. And that's what we did also during this here too, so we'll investigate those trades that we put on through there as well. So just moving in here to the 4-hour chart. This is originally sort of how we're looking at it here. We know that we can count an impulse wave to the upside here. So it's still possible that this B wave is not complete yet. We may have an A and a B and a C over here. So that's what we also need to understand. But also too that it can be counted, it has moved down in 5 waves. It has retraced to 61.8% mark here. And we're still looking for this wave C here, which should have some sort of relationship to wave A here. We just need to be careful because this is it has been a little bit messy, and we can read it in many different ways. And we'll look at a few of those now for this. So moving into well, just carry on with this for a second, because this is our original count here where we had up here for the A wave here, a little B wave in here and a C wave to finish here for wave B here. And in these markets here, in the futures market as well, we've had this as the top here. The Nasdaq has made this the high here. If I can just bring across the Nasdaq for a moment. It's made, we've got this high on the S&P, but we've got these other highs here for this. So it looks like it's, it's reached a bit of a top there as well. And also too, we were looking for Amazon too, if you remember yesterday when we were looking, because I noted with Amazon we'd looked down as an A and a B and a C wave here, and it all looked quite impulsive at this particular point, and we'd been counting up in blue of 1 and 2 here, 5 waves up for 3 and 4 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I mentioned this could be the top for 5 here, a little bit short though, so on it moved for this 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 moving up into here. So we can, once again, we can have a top in for stocks now. So I think that that's also important. That will help drive prices lower at that point. This move here could extend out further on itself, because when we think about it, wave 1 here is small, wave 3 is bigger, but then wave 5 here is even bigger still. So it's actually expanding to the upside. So this count could have a corrective pattern here and then move higher as well. So we need to be mindful of that and observe that. But it does appear that we're getting a little 5 waves down through here. So, but that can just be end of session stuff. So just moving back a little bit here to the S&P. So this could count down as 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 here, and we can look at this and then down further from this point. However, we need to sort of also understand if that B wave is actually in play, because this pattern across here, it can be counted down as 1 and 2 have been over, then down for 1 here and looking back for 2 here. But also too, on the cash market here, this wave 2 here, or this move back up through here on the cash market has overridden this one here. It may have also overridden this one here too. So I think that's interesting and should be pointed out. So this is the SPX here, and the moves across here, like on the futures, were counted this down as 1 here, ABC for 2 here, then down for 1 here, ABC back for 2 here, because on the futures we never made a new high here, but on the cash market we've not only made a new high here, I think this is 155, 53 here. I'm not sure what that one is there, but you know, it does, you know, make a note of that. So, you know, with the Nasdaq, if I can just go back to that for a moment, when we look at the Nasdaq making this high here for this, you know, maybe that's it in some way for the B wave. You know, we'll come down from that particular point, so that would make this the high here for this. So maybe this is the A wave over here, and we've come all the way across in a small triangle pattern or something for wave B, and then up for wave C here, and making the new high here, and then we've got our high in place at this point with the Nasdaq as well. So the cash and the Nasdaq, it's just that the futures market that we're following hasn't made a new high above this one here, let alone this one here. So they can all be counted a little bit differently here. So, you know, we've been looking at Ed was the first one to mention a triangle, but we can have a triangle pattern in here, or all of this here can be a triangle pattern as well, and we come down into here and move up for wave B over here as well. So we'll need to just have a look at that idea as well. So I'm not sure where I've got that here. So this is one way of, as I just mentioned, this is one way of looking at it, having an A wave here, then A, B, C, D, and E in here, and then finishing off here. That would kind of be in line with the Nasdaq at that point. There's also the possibility that wave B can be sitting on here as well. I'm not sure what chart I was working that on, but I'll just double check here. Yeah, this chart here. So in this instance here, from the top here, we can look at this as A, B, C, D, and E here. Now this is okay at this particular point here. So this current move down through here plays out as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the A wave, the B wave here, and the C wave here. That's not quite finished, so we should come down to 365 sort of area, or 362, 360 in there. We can have a little look at that. Well, in fact, we can look at that now in here. This is just 20 ticks here, so this is coming down here either as the A, the B, and the C wave here. So we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here for 1 or A here, back for 2 or B here, and this move that's coming down through here, if I can just point out that obviously this is the middle of the trend here, and this is the end of the trend. I think there's just one more little bump to go and one more little move down, which will bring us down. That's the previous low here, that's why it's sticking around there, but 65 here, and this is all of group 2 here. This is on 20 ticks here, so it's quite small, and the 72 in here. So, you know, it could find support in group 2 here, but what I was also thinking too on the short side is that once this 5-wave sequence finishes down into here, we should see either a low in place here for wave C, and then we just continue to move all the way up through here, and that means that we could look to go long again back on 3-1 here. So that's the important figure for going long. In terms of going short, this market will come down, finish its low off here, and then just have a rally back, you know, 50-60% of this move here, and maybe not, maybe only 40%. So, but what we will be left with is not straight away, but this will have a low in here somewhere, and we'll have a rally here. So that low becomes a trigger for short trades at that point. I can't draw on this particular pattern here, but on this one here I can. So yeah, so we're expecting the low to finish off in here, you know, and then we'll see some sort of rally. So the thing here is that once we see that rally here, then if I can just borrow one of these when you talk about that. So then that low there becomes the catalyst for any short trades at that particular point, and any long trades would need to get support back on the 100. So that's where I'm thinking short trades can go and also long trades to go, and of course you can just keep feeding these in here as well through here, so the next level down at 50 and so on, because we'll becoming lower at that point. This is the last place that it can stop here as an A and a B and a C wave here. Otherwise we'll see a much deeper move down into this space here for that. So also while we're here as well, yesterday we looked for some long trades in here. So I've got sort of 4 of them here. I had quite a few more in than that actually, but I'm okay with this because I didn't make much money out of it, but it sort of had the potential because it looked like we had an impulse wave here and then back and then an impulse wave here, corrective wave here, and I can't remember what was thinking of this at the time, yeah, we managed to build in. Well, I managed to build in, and I was trying to get that across to you as well. It made it up. It made support on the 30 here. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the variation pattern here didn't come back down at this point and went up to 50 here. So once it broke the trend line through here, I had my stop about here somewhere out of the way, so it came back and took that out, but had a bit of pocket money in with that space there. So yeah, so now we just got to look for the next one, and just to recap what I've just said there with this is that we can't go long unless we get support on the 3,100. We need to see some evidence of a move up, and this particular pattern that I've got here is possible as an A and a B and a C wave here. It's possible, and I'm putting it out here because if we do get support on here, well, at least then you'll know that we're looking for 5 waves to the upside here in this instance here to finish off the A, the B and the C wave here at that point and then move down. We need to be mindful of the more bearish count in this case, so just removing this here for a moment and looking at this count here, which will bring us down if we use the length of wave A here just as a guide stick here and move that over here. We'll be looking down into this space for this. So the setup over this side becomes more important now than the long side, of course. So if I go back to my tick chart here and bring this in here, let me just bring some more data in. So in this instance here, this was our original count after all of this, but all really we've changed is we took a buying opportunity in here, and I feel okay about that. The thing with this here is that I can count 5 waves here on the tick chart of 1 and 2 here, and then 3 and 4. And 5, so that was the original. So I thought an A and a B and a C, but thought the C was a bit short and all the rest of it. So I struggled with that a little bit. This could be counted down as corrective as well, so I struggled with that. I understood that this was an A and a B and a C wave here, so I was okay with that. So it was all right to label this 1 and 2 in here. Coming down through here as 5 waves down here, scratching my head with this one too. But we could count at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here and then down for 5, but we've got overlapping wave structures with this point here, so this is where the triangle, or seeing all these as possible 3-wave moves here, this is why the triangle pattern is still sort of in play as well, but I just don't think we can throw this out here. So yeah, looking at this as well, 1 and A and a B and a C here for wave 2 here. Remembering the cash made a clear high above this one here, and we need a double check on this high here and this high here for the cash. But apart from that, looking at this and looking at the futures markets, which being would have been rolling over as well in the last day, in the last session. So, but this move down here does count 1 and 2, and well, all of the third wave, fourth wave, and fifth wave here for 1 didn't really rally high and much up here for this, so we just need to be a little bit mindful. But what we're looking for, whatever the case may be, we're looking for this to finish off here, and this to move back here to retest in there. So we need that a bit lower in here for this. And yeah, so this low, just wait for it to come in, and then once that rally starts here, then we've got ourselves that point in here where we can look to go short here for this. So just to recap that on the 15-minute chart here, where I like to sort of stick my trade, I've already done that here. So we want that low to come in. We're looking for short trades because of the closing weaker on Friday means that the momentum will be there for the Monday on the downside, of course. So yes, we're just looking for this move. This can be counted as 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here, and then moving down further from that point. So we need to be looking at short trades below here. We need to be looking at long trades over this side here as support here. But don't overdo it. The idea is to just build in very small trades through 100, 10, 20, and 30. And then as we start to move up here further, then we know that we can start adding more because we know that we'll be going higher at that particular point. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Yeah, I think that pretty much sort of covers it. We just really need to know where we're going to get in next. And I think I've pointed them out reasonably clearly. And let's just see how the market unfolds. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.